let's get started. As you can see, the eastern states experience warmer temperatures, while the western states experience colder temperatures. Anticipated for the 6 to 10-day outlook, which will span from January 31st to the 4th, so you can get a sense of this flow in the east. This is all because of the extremely cold air in the west. This is known as a negative PNA, and it essentially causes the warmth to move up the eastern states. During that time, your jet stream will frequently look something like this. Almost all three of our previous winters have been determined by this kind of pattern, so if this is true, things may look similar if you've been watching the weather for years. Right now, it's unique only because we haven't seen any of this for January or December. It has been extremely cold. Thus, this is a huge, huge shift. The precipitation looks really nice. Unless you're in the southwest, this is above average from coast to coast from the 31st to the 4th. Additionally, there are a lot of places in the U.S. that are in dire need of this. Thus, as I indicated earlier, activity is generally increasing. The outlook for the next 8 to 14 days, from February 2nd to February 28th, is shown here. We see a lot of this tight motion in SE Ridge once more. During this time, you would anticipate a jet stream moving up like this, and numerous storms moving along this area of the jet stream, which could result in numerous opportunities for snowfall in these pockets. The cold is moving more towards the central states through the west. Therefore, keep an eye out for that in early February. Based on my observations, that appears to be the hot spot right now, and the precipitation shows above normal activity from coast to coast. Here is the 3 to 4 week outlook for February 8/21 that was released yesterday, once more. We might write out the lot for the final few weeks of winter here, if this is true. In the same vein, temperatures are significantly different from what we've been experiencing in recent weeks, with colder temperatures in many northwest and north-central states, and warmer temperatures in the southwest, southeast, and really, the entire East Coast. Here is the overall outlook for precipitation. And since we don't anticipate it to be a purely warm pattern, you might get a lot of snowfall in this area. Going back to our recent conversation about that, I anticipate it to be a mix of cold and warm. Additionally, you can anticipate that there will be more chances for snowfall if the precipitation and the cold coincide. On yesterday's video, I saw a lot of comments about how great winters are essentially over, and I don't mean that at all. It's getting warmer. Actually, though, a lot of people are whining about the lack of snowfall, particularly in the north. It's because of the extreme cold. You guys are dry because the jet stream has been driven so far away. Compared to the extremely cold days we've had lately, this is almost going to give you a better chance of seeing snowfall. Therefore, it is by no means the end of winter. Additionally, it may even be cause for some optimism. There will be more precipitation and snowfall in these areas than usual. The same is true for much of the Northwest and the Northern Rockies in general, though the southern states there experience somewhat drier conditions. Again, February 8/21 is the main month here. As I previously stated, the last 20 days have been extremely cold in these areas, and for that reason, we've been essentially left without in many of these northern regions. There have also been storms that have swept through the deep south, bringing snow to unusual places along the Gulf and the southeast coast, but they were extremely cold for 20 days. It's unbelievable to see how common greens are here. On a 20-day, that is 10 to 15 degrees below average, is simply crazy. I mean, this is the longest-lasting look I think I've ever seen. We will now proceed to the model guidance. First, let's examine the European model. The vlog is also included in the description and pin comment below, which I neglected to mention. I'll put it there if you guys didn't notice it, but be sure to check it out because I know it can be a little finicky at times and doesn't always appear. Let's take a look at the Sierra Nevada Mountains Central Rockies this afternoon. Aside from a few snow showers, it's actually quite quiet. It goes without saying that the fires out there will benefit greatly from some rainfall that is expected to fall across Southern California tonight and tomorrow morning. Additionally, there are thunderstorms and showers predicted for Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. There has been some activity, but nothing particularly noteworthy, and many central states, particularly the north central and northeastern states, still have some cold to deal with. However, for the duration of the day, that will essentially continue to subside here. Monday. A little bit of a mixed bag, including snow and rain, some showers and thunderstorms, and ongoing precipitation throughout Southern California, parts of southern Nevada, and even western Arizona. It's much the same on Tuesday. We have sporadic precipitation after all. The Clipper system, which essentially moves down along the northern jet from Canada into the Great Lakes, is going to be the biggest threat for a snowstorm over the next 4 or 5 days, in my opinion. Additionally, it will attempt to swing slightly underneath the northeast here, which could present a small risk of snowfall there as well. Thus, the Great Lakes, a portion of the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast. Even though it may not be the largest snowstorm in the world, the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, parts of the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast are all receiving snow by Wednesday, the 29th. We experience a slight cold push from Wednesday, the 29th, through Thursday, the 30th. However, as the warmth returns, we warm up again for the 31st. In the meantime, there are a few more powerful storm systems. One is located close to Texas, where snow is falling on the western side. Severe weather is expected throughout Texas, possibly Oklahoma, Kansas, and even a small portion of Missouri and Arkansas. That low is to the east of them. In addition, there is a low off the Pacific Northwest. Depending on your elevation, they are bringing snow and rain, respectively. There is a ton of snow, a ton of rain, and a ton of activity in the west as we continue past Friday, the 31st, into Saturday, the 1st of February. We're talking about precipitation in the Sierra Nevada, the Cascades, the Rockies, and all the valleys in between. Thus, activity is increasing. Additionally, there is a small area of low pressure over parts of the plains, such as Kansas and Nebraska. And as you can see, this is having a significant impact on a large portion of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Deep South. An area encompassing parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and possibly even extending northward into Illinois and Indiana, would be under our watch for thunderstorms or even severe weather. Our jet stream is clearly located far to the north. This is something we have. It is very typical for us to have this warm push to the east of that cold front. It's so hot and muggy outside. There may be enough instability along that line if a small amount of cooler air dives in beneath this cold front. Let's examine Sunday, which is scheduled for February 2nd. For the eastern states, we can still see our lowest cutoff point close to the Great Lakes, and the southeast, deep south, and possibly even the mid-Atlantic are all visible. Enduring showers and possibly thunderstorms, particularly as you move further south. It will undoubtedly be something to watch closely. Snow continues to fall in the Cascades and Rockies. Thus, they will begin addressing the totals here. They will definitely make up for the snow they haven't had yet. Over the next 2 weeks, I believe. The closer you get to the Canadian border, the more wintry precipitation we see in parts of the Midwest and Northeast. I want to continue until Monday, the 3rd. Once more, the Southeast is still experiencing thunderstorms and showers, and the Rockies and Cascades are still seeing snowfall. The northern plains and upper Midwest are already experiencing it, and the eastern seaboard will be the warmest region. I want to continue. Something for Tuesday is just around the corner. Snow showers and some neutral temperatures are back. The north is therefore colder, not just warm again. February 4th is today. These places are cold enough for snow. Snowflakes are flying. From California through Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, and Nebraska. This region is very active. All of this activity is just exploding there. As you can see, there is more activity and stronger winds because these lines are so close to one another. After that, it disperses across the east. We can actually see it layering out, which will be a sign of calmer weather. All of this, however, is moving east. By Wednesday, we observe that it is actually beginning to get its act together. We receive a powerful low over Colorado, which may result in a significant snowfall event for the Rockies, as well as for the upper Midwest and northern plains above it, with ice possibly forming in between. The region beneath this warm front and ahead of this cold front is what really worries me, though, as there may be a resurgence of severe weather with some thunderstorm activity in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and possibly even Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois. The warm, humid air is rising up ahead of it, so we can tell if the Arctic air is diving in behind it. Additionally, this swirl is ideal for severe weather in general. We observe that it truly brings DAC together by the time we get to Thursday, the 6th. 900 mm in for Iowa. The Dakotas, Nebraska, and Minnesota receive the most snowfall in this area. Although there is snowfall north of your warm front, which is currently out in the distance, the warm front is gradually moving north. For those places, it is, I say in a situation like this, because it is 300 hours out. But if you're on that warm front side of things, you would normally start a snow mix over and end up with rain. We can see that there is a cold front beneath this as well, which is where the previously mentioned rising temperatures and humidity are found. After that, the colder, drier air swings behind and beneath that cold front. And beneath the warm front, this would significantly increase the likelihood of severe weather in these areas once more. This model has been trending at these lows, moving